Unafraid, Reister or Wrong, George Reister here. Thank you guys for joining me. We got a couple great things up for you guys today. First of which is, well, actually, before we even get there, happy Thursday. And this is going to be the greatest Unafraid show of all time. Please make sure you like the feed, swipe up, share the feed, continue the conversation. The first thing we got up for, well, the things on track for today are, with the bowl games coming up, NFL draft is coming up for a lot of kids, and everybody wants to know who's going to declare who's going to stay in school. The most hot button topic position is the quarterback position. And one of the guys that's not getting a whole lot of credit right now is Lamar Miller. So I'm going to break down all the quarterbacks that should stay in school and the ones that should leave. Some of which you're not going to agree with. And then there is a little bit of a racial issue in this that we're not going to act like we're going to sit up here and ignore. The second thing up, college football bowl games. So I talked about it, how the committee screwed up putting Alabama in the playoff. I also talked about how college football ratings are down because of the schedule. But I hadn't brought up to you guys why all of this, how changing the schedules and getting ratings up, doing those things that are good for the game will turn around and impact your team in a negative way. And also net neutrality was voted on today. The FCC, Federal Communications Commission, they just voted to reverse net neutrality regulations adopted in 2015. Going to tell you why that's such a big deal to you. But first of all, quick hitter before we get started. I don't know if you guys have heard. However, there is a London surgeon who just got sued for, he's a transplant surgeon. So he takes people who have, you know, you need a new liver, you need a new kidney, you need new lungs, whatever the hell it is that you need, he's the guy who puts it in for you. So he's done a great job putting those things in people. But the thing that he's done, which people have been pissed off and upset about, is that he's been engraving his initials into the, like an artist signing his paintings into their new organ, into the transplant patient. How did people find out this? Well, they found it out through like a routine examination. Like somebody went in for something else, and then they found, when they were looking in there, they found the initials. So the guy admitted to it. So the question is, would you be pissed off and would you be upset if the doctor who saved your life then left his initials on you? I don't know if I'd be all that upset, but some people are. So we're going to get into, first of all, I'm going to explain to you guys what net neutrality is in a few minutes, but actually I'll go with net neutrality first because it is the most important thing of the day. If you don't know what net neutrality is, you should, because the FCC voted on it today. And I've seen so many people tweeting about everything else today but net neutrality. It means you clearly don't understand how big the vote was today with the FCC. Your entire internet experience may just become subscription based. And mind you, there were already 39 senators who wrote letters to the FCC asking them to delay the vote. That way they could actually make a real plan in terms of net neutrality and all this. So how this works is this: look at the internet like a highway, like a freeway. Everybody can get on and access things, websites at the same site, at the same time, at the same speed. So if you want to watch Netflix, if you want to go to Yahoo, if you want to go to Google, whatever it is that you want to go to, you can go there at the same speed as everybody else. However, with them repealing net neutrality, what the companies who own your internet provider can do is they can turn around and change your internet experience. So what they can do is let's take your cell phone service. You have data on your cell phone. And have you ever gotten a text message or see the commercials where they say that they'll slow down your internet service if you use too many gigabytes? That's the way that net neutrality can work. Because let's take a company like Verizon, which now owns Yahoo, which is a search engine, news. They have news, aggregate news on their website every day. Verizon, if you have Verizon Files, they can then make it faster for you to go to Yahoo and then slow down for you to go to Google or other sites. Like, do you realize how big of a deal that is? Like, that is a huge deal. So you guys read up on net neutrality, call, vote, do whatever it is that you need to do to make sure that people understand that your voice needs to be heard on this topic and on this subject, because it is it is like damn near life-changing for everybody, and it's snuck in under the rug, and most people don't completely understand it. You've seen it trending, but you didn't know exactly what it was. So this is a huge deal. Do not forget about that. Look it up, read up. I have some articles posted on my Twitter about it. Next thing up, the college quarterbacks declaring for the NFL. You guys swipe up, share the feed now. The college quarterbacks that are declaring for the NFL draft. So you have, obviously, the big names are Sam Darnold, Josh Rosen, Baker Mayfield, the kid Allen out of Wyoming, Lamar Miller, Mason Rudolph at Oklahoma State, Riley Ferguson at Memphis. So these guys. But the top two names that you keep hearing about are all you've been hearing about all season are Josh Rosen and Sam Darnold. I've said it from the beginning. I've been screaming it from the mountaintops all year. And finally, somebody like Kirk Herbstreit agreed with me at the end of the year. Sam Darnold needs to bring himself back to school. Not that he's not a good quarterback. Oh, he was projected at the beginning of the season to be this and that. But what did you actually do? Sam Darnold has all the tools to be a good quarterback. He's not a good pocket passer. I actually say he's adequate as a pocket passer, but nothing special. He's a turnover machine. He fumbles, throws the ball away, makes poor decisions when in the pocket. When he gets out of the pocket, makes phenomenal decisions, makes improvised plays, all of that. So why is a guy like Sam Darnold, with his particular set of skills and the things that he does well and does not do well, looked at differently than Lamar Jackson? Lamar Jackson's a quarterback at Louisville, and he increased his completion percentage from last year, 56% to 60%. Yards per attempt is up. He's throwing fewer interceptions on the same number of attempts, and ended the game with 600 plus rushing yards and multiple 300-yard passing games. So why is he looked at any different than Sam Darnold? Because history tells us that athletic quarterbacks, which tend to be black, are looked at differently than white quarterbacks who's sitting there in the pocket and all that. I'm an NFL guy. I played in the NFL. So I understand the difference between, like, there are quarterbacks who are runners and get their eyes down, like Brett Hundley did. That's why he initially didn't have as much success in the NFL. He had to learn how to figure out how to do something else. That was my criticism of him in college. Then you have guys like Marcus Mariota in college who were scrambled, who would run sometimes, but they would keep their eyes up. And that's why Sam Darnold, he needs to stay in school, because he is a mobile quarterback who's still learning how to pass. If you put him in a pro system right now and give him the keys to the car, like have him the starting quarterback of an NFL team, next year he's going to fail. He's going to fail. He is not passer ready. And nowadays, as a quarterback, you have to be ready to throw the ball. Like, you have to be ready to come in and not only play, but you have to be ready to start when you come in the NFL. Like, you can't, like, the days of sitting behind a guy for a year or 2 or 5 or 3 like Aaron Rodgers did, those days are over. Sam Darnold needs to absolutely stay in school. And the judgment against Lamar Jackson is completely unfair, despite the fact that I do believe he needs to stay in school. I have said that he does. But we're not going to sit up here and act like Sam Darnold is some world beater that Lamar Jackson is not. There, you're essentially looking at the same guy, except for Lamar Jackson is extremely more athletic. But it reminds me of my high school football coach, because I came in as a quarterback. He told me, in mind you, I love the man, all that, so there's no bad words or bad feelings against him, but he didn't know how to handle that. He says, you know what? I don't want my best athlete at quarterback. But in reality, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? I understand you want him at cornerback, running back, all these things, but your quarterback is a person who touches the ball all the time. And teams have learned you put your most athletic player there if he's a good passer, and you can open up your offense and score a lot more points. Next dude up, Josh Rosen. Josh Rosen should absolutely 100% declare for the NFL draft. 100%. He's ready to go. He's polished. He can throw from the pocket. Yes, he had a few turnovers this year, but those seem to be more from him under necessity to throw the ball more than he should have. I mean, he had multiple 50-attempt games, 60-attempt games sometimes. I mean, he has shown an ability to be able to drive the ball in small windows when needed. His defense was atrocious this year. So they were constantly playing from behind. And yet and still, when the team knows you have to throw it and you can throw it consistently, that's the mark of an NFL quarterback. And that's what what Josh Rosen did. The next guy up, which is inexplicably continued to be talked about to me, is Josh Allen out of Wyoming. It makes no sense to me. Because coming into the season, we heard about him. He's going to be great. He's the sleeper. He's the Carson Wentz small school guy. No, he's not. Carson Wentz at North Dakota State was phenomenal. Like, he didn't turn around and have a good season with good wide receivers and then turn around and follow. So last year, Josh Allen threw for 3,200 yards, 28 touchdowns, and 15 interceptions. Mind you, a lot of interceptions, but I guess you can get over that. I don't get over it because I don't like turnover machine quarterbacks. They don't produce well in the NFL. If you turn over the ball a lot in college, you're going to turn the ball over a lot in the NFL. The players are better. Everything's faster. It doesn't work. You have to figure out how not to turn the ball over. And in 2017, Josh Allen, his junior year, comes back, only throws for 1,658 yards. What? And only 56% completion. 6.6 per attempt. 13 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. Oh, but Josh Allen, he's got the pro build. He's 6'6", 230. You can't teach that. You can't teach his size and frame, but you also have to look at the numbers and look at the stats. How on earth can you sell me that Josh Allen from Wyoming is better than Lamar Jackson, that you should draft him before him? This is where scouts, they get something in their mind because they're more critical. They're more critical of athletic and black quarterbacks than they are of white quarterbacks. They are. They expect more out of them. And mind you, it's natural. It's not a racist thing. This is not a racist issue. This is just a reality issue. When you have quarterbacks, when you have a kid who's super athletic, he is judged by a different standard than somebody who's not. It's just like if you have LeBron James. LeBron James is expected to do significantly more than Gordon Hayward because his athletic ability lends itself to that. So his critics judge him more harshly. You see Steve Kerr in the NFL, in the NBA, or a guy who plays with LeBron James, Kyle Korver. Oh, he's such a great shooter. You praise him for all the things that Kyle Korver does, but you don't knock Kyle Korver for the things that Kyle Korver doesn't do well. Whereas somebody who's amazingly athletic gets knocked for the things they don't do well, as opposed to praised for the things that they do well. Does that make sense to you? Made sense to me. And that's what happens in sports. So sometimes this gets made into a racist issue, but it's not a racist issue. It is a subconscious issue of coaches not realizing that they are overly criticizing somebody who is doing a better job than someone else. Prime example, Tyrod Taylor with the Buffalo Bills. Tyrod Taylor with the Buffalo Bills is a significantly better quarterback than Nathan Pearman. But Tyrod Taylor doesn't turn the ball over. Mind you, he's not a top 10 quarterback. There's no, like, we're not going to act like Tyrod Taylor's a top 10 quarterback. But what we are going to do is acknowledge what he's done on the field. Doesn't throw the ball away. Wins games. Has his team in the playoff hunt. But you want to replace him with Nathan Pearman because you think Nathan Pearman maybe can do something better? No, you're being overly critical. That's what's happening with Lamar Jackson versus a guy like Josh Allen or Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold and Lamar Jackson, same guy. Same exact guy. Except Lamar Jackson's more athletic, so you want him to do more than you expect Sam Darnold to do to prove to you that he's just as good. That's what the reality of this situation is. And the next guy that you got up, aside from Josh Allen, who I do not believe in any way is an NFL quarterback at this point in time. Like, when he played against, good quarterbacks, when you look at North Dakota State, when they beat I think they beat Iowa or somebody else who was an FBS team, and they're an FCS team, Carson Wentz played well. When you look at Joe Flacco in college, he played well. Josh Allen played against Oregon this year, 9 for 24, 64 yards and an interception. He played against Iowa this year, 23 for 40, 174 yards, 2 interceptions. What do we know about great quarterbacks? Great quarterbacks make the wide receivers around them better. They're not dependent upon them exclusively. Yes, it's better for them if they have them, but they find a way to get it done even without great talent around them. That's what great quarterbacks do. He absolutely should stay in school. He needs to start making other plans for post-college besides the NFL, because he doesn't have it and hasn't shown that he has it. That's the truth. Mason Rudolph from Oklahoma State, 35 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. He is a little bit better version of Luke Falk from Washington State. Because I've said it all year, and people got upset with me. I was like, I like Luke Falk in the NFL right now better than I like Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold has a better upside, but Luke Falk, Mason Rudolph are better equipped to go into the NFL and be successful right now. They are more accurate passers. They're big. They've thrown the ball a lot. They don't throw the ball away a lot. They have an opportunity to be successful. They've had a chance to make reads, all this stuff. This is what you want out of your quarterback. So why do we keep trying to fit a square peg in a round hole with these quarterbacks? It's not a racist issue. It is a subconscious thinking issue, how people think about it. And a lot of times it just so happens that black quarterbacks fall into this trap. They fall into it because they are not judged by the same standard. The next thing up, the college football playoffs. You guys swipe up, share the feed. The college football playoffs. I've been outspoken, very outspoken about the college football playoffs and how they got it wrong with Alabama. Outspoken about it because they killed. They set the game back 10 years at least by putting Alabama in the college football playoff. And I've said this for multiple reasons. Number one, because they have rewarded teams with bad schedules who don't schedule good non-conference competition and still put them in the college football playoffs. That's what happened. That's how Alabama got in. And then you look on the other side of this, that college football ratings are down. Why are college football ratings down? Wrote an article about it on unafraidshow.com. It's because there's a lack of competition. These non-conference games, these teams, Alabama plays Florida State. Everybody wants to watch that game. Nobody wants to watch Alabama play. I'm using them as an example. Nobody wants to see Alabama play Mercer, Colorado State, or Fresno State. Nobody wants to see that. So ratings are down overall in college football. Same thing. Nobody wants to see Oregon play Southern Utah. Nobody wants to see, Clemson play Citadel. Nobody wants to watch that. So that's why ratings are down. But then you fast forward and you look, okay, George, if they take your plan in terms of playing either everybody playing a balanced schedule, everybody either playing 8 conference games or 9 conference games, and then scheduling multiple Power 5 non-conference games, which will increase in viewership, engagement, everything. How does that work long term? Well, it actually can hurt your teams long term. It's more beneficial for your viewing experience and for your dollars. But when it comes down to how you feel about your team, it is going to be affected. Because the day and age, so if you play 9 conference games, for the Pac-12, well, if every conference played 9 conference games, that would average 4.5 losses per team throughout the conference. So everybody's got 4.5 losses that they either have to keep or give to somebody else. And once you do that, that already has more losses. Like we have examined, the Pac-12 has like 54 losses compared to the SEC's 56 conference losses exclusively. And the Big Ten has 63 because they play 9 conference games. So we've already examined that. So if the teams go on and play the 9 conference games, that's going to be 63 losses for the 14-team leagues and 54 losses for the 12-team leagues. Okay, fine. Everything's balanced. That's 4.5 losses for everybody. But if you change the non-conference schedule, what's going to happen is those Power 5 teams playing other Power 5 teams, somebody's got to win and somebody's got to lose. That means if you're Oklahoma State and instead of playing, Western Kentucky State, you play Georgia, Georgia wins or Oklahoma State wins. Somebody's got another loss. You have to be 6-6 to go to bowl games. Those are going to be more teams that don't have 8, 9, 10-win seasons and are falling more to the 6-6 record. You're going to have more elite teams, and then you're going to have teams that fall into that 8 and 9 wins. So the teams that have a lot of like 9 and 10 wins right now, those teams are going to lose to each other because they're going to be playing each other. And you're going to have more 8 to 9 team wins. That's going to be the difference. So while everybody is applauding their teams for, another 10-win season, they're fluff. Like, it's not real. It's not real when you play 3 cupcake non-conference games. It's an inflated number. So while we keep pointing to coaches saying, he's got so many 8, 9, 10-win seasons. Yeah, but let's really look at them and see the non-conference games that they won. Because if you play 3 terrible non-conference games, you're starting out 3-0. And then you have 9 league games. You only have to go 3-6 in your league to make a bowl game. So now if you go 3-6 in your league and then you play 3 good non-conference games, guess what's going to happen to you and your team? You are not going to win 6 games. You're not. And then everybody's going to be clamoring for their coach to be fired. So that's the downside to changing the college football schedules. However, it will increase your viewing experience and your fan experience, because we all like to talk trash. There's nobody, I don't know if there's too many people on earth that like to talk trash about their college football team and conference more than me. I love it. So do I want to see more interconference games? Yes. Am I willing for Oregon to lose a few more games for that? Yeah, I am. You should be too. You should be too, because you're a fan. You're spending your dollars. You're spending your money on college football, yet they're giving you crap product back. But you continue to take it if you want to. Another thing about this whole college football situation is when you look at the college football bowl schedule, there's 41 bowl games, 80 teams. There's 80 teams because two of those teams are going to play again in the national championship. 41 bowl games, 80 teams. So ESPN in 2012 signed a deal for $470 million over 12 years to broadcast the college football playoffs. This year, there are no teams with losing records in bowl games, as opposed to last year when there were 6. So here is where an important piece comes in. Because today we find out that Disney is going to buy Fox, a lot of Fox properties, for $52 billion. This includes ABC, like Pixar, Marvel, Lucasfilms, 21st Century Fox. Like, that's what they'll have under their umbrella. National Geographic, FX, and all the Fox regional sports networks. Why that is important to you, including the international networks, Star India, and Fox's 30% stake in Hulu, and its 39% stake in European paid TV giant Sky. Why this is important to you is the sports fan. It's for weeks and months. You've heard so many people telling you because of the ESPN layoffs, they're hemorrhaging money. ESPN's going down because their viewership is down 13 million from the 100 million people, whether they're cutting the cord or whatever it is. Because the ESPN is a liberal network, whatever. So they have a plan in place because they already came out and said they were going to have their subscription-based service. So where you could just buy ESPN. People were like, no, I'll never do that. I'll never do that. Like Hulu TV, YouTube TV and all that. Essentially like the way you pay for Amazon Prime, Hulu, or Netflix. That's what ESPN announced that they were going to do. Have a subscription model to all their programming content. Well, I don't want to buy that, whatever. Well, now you're going to have to for your local team. Because if you're a Clippers fan and your games are on Fox Sports West, you're in Arizona, you're a Canucks fan, your games are on Fox whatever. That's why it's important, because now they've got you in a pickle. ESPN has you in a pickle, and you have to come and see them now. Because Disney already has announced that they are doing their subscription-based service for just the Disney products. So now that they will control so many rights to everything from Marvel, Pixar films, Lucasfilms, so the Star Wars, everything under 21st Century Fox, the movies, all that, Hulu, you got to come see about them. There's no way to avoid it now. So while people thought ESPN was going out of business and all that, that's not the case. They clearly had a plan and clearly had something ready for us, because people thought it wasn't going to happen. But guess what? It's happening. It is happening, and there's no way to avoid it. You guys, also, I'm posting the link to the college football bowl game between the wife and the expert. You guys know I play against my wife, pick college football games against her. I want you guys to participate in the bowl games. $10 to get in. Have a chance to win a lot, depending on how many people get in. You guys, I'll post a link on my Twitter today. You guys join in. It'll be a great time, great opportunity, a lot of fun. Appreciate you guys joining me. Please make sure you like the feed, share the feed, continue the conversation. Peace out. I will catch you guys tomorrow.